Hi, I'm Richard Harrison, the Technical Product Manager for Windows Intune here at Microsoft. So I'm going to show you a few Windows Intune tips and tricks. And let's start with the use of the Windows Intune automatic approval rules. And let's see how it can save you some time. Using Windows Intune to help free up some time in your day makes good sense. Built into Windows Intune is a method to automate the process of update approval for update types that you select. If you follow these steps, Windows Intune will automatically approve for installation all critical and security updates as soon as they're released, making sure your client computers are updated as soon as possible. So in this tip, I'll take you to the Updates overview and select the Configure Automatic Approval Settings option. And here, I can create a new automatic approval rule. I can create this rule for all category updates and for all classifications if I wish. But in our example here, I'm going to select just critical updates and security updates. Now I can choose where I want this rule to apply. Now this is going to be the default rule for all our updates, so I'm going to select all computers in my organization. Now when I click Finish and then Save, that rule will be applied. So all computers that are being managed in this organization will now receive automatic updates for critical and security updates as soon as they become available. That takes some of the load off me, and it leaves me to manage the other update types manually. One request we often get is how to get Windows Intune to email out alert notifications. So in this next tip, I'll show you that process. It's very useful to have Windows Intune email you if an alert comes into the service from a managed client. Setting this up is a simple process, but it does take a couple of steps. So step one, I need to add recipients that are going to receive these notifications. So from the administration workspace, I'll select Alerts and Notifications, and then select Recipients. And here I've got 3 recipients set up already. It's important to understand that these are just email addresses. You're not giving these recipients administrative access to the console, so they will just receive notifications. If they don't have an administrative logon to Windows Intune, they won't be able to get to this console. But it might be useful for reporting to a client or to a manager the activity that's happening for certain types of alerts. So here we've got help desk alerts and administrative alerts set up ready. So now I've got my recipients set up, the next step is to go to the notification rules themselves. So if I select the notification rules option, here you can see the rules that have been set up in Windows Intune for different alert types. We can have all alerts, critical alerts, just the information alerts, warnings, or remote assistance requests. Now these ones here are pretty critical. They're usually end users who need help fairly urgently, so I'm going to select that one. Now with that rule selected, if I click the Select Recipients, I can add in, let's say, all our help desk users will receive that update. And now every time a remote assistance request comes in, an email will be generated directly from the Windows Intune service to the help desk at a datum alias. So our next tip is using Windows Intune policies to set a standard security policy for all your computers. When you first start using Windows Intune, there are no policies in place to set update and malware protection standards. You can make sure you get these standards in place quickly and easily by adding Windows Intune default policies to your managed computers. To do this, go to the Policies workspace, and then you can select Create New Policy from the Tasks menu option. Now here we've got 3 policy types, but we want to control the agent settings. So I'll select that template and then click Create Policy. Now using this wizard, I can set whatever Windows Intune policies I wish to manage. So we'll call this a default. And you can see in our template down here, we've configured a number of recommended settings. So for example, if I wanted to ensure that all computers were scanned at a particular time for malware, I can select a schedule here for, let's say, 7 a.m. in the morning, as well as many detailed settings for both the malware protection and updates. Then when I click Save Policy, that policy will be saved. And I get this option to deploy the policy. If I select Yes, I can choose which computers to assign it to. In this example, I'll do all computers. Now I have a default policy that's applied to make sure that all computers that are managed by this environment will have a standard time to run their malware scans. Our final tip is really to highlight a feature in the Windows Intune administration console that is easily missed. Because Windows Intune is managed through a web browser, it's easy to miss some usability features built into the console that can help speed up everyday management tasks. The Windows Intune Management Console is a Silverlight package rather than the standard HTML web page, so this allows us to add a few additional features to help make your management experience a little easier. For example, if I go to the All Updates screen and then select New Updates for approval, I've got 104 updates that need to be approved. Now I can click on each one of these individually, and then I can select the Approve option from my tasks. That's a long-winded way of going about it, especially as I've got quite behind here with 104 updates to go. So what I want to draw your attention to here is the fact that you can hold down either the Control key or the Shift key and then select multiple updates in one go. Now, just by selecting the Approve option here, I can approve and deploy these updates for all of those updates I've selected. I don't need to do them one at a time. So there you go. Thanks to Silverlight, you can use Control or Shift keys to multiple select updates to approve. So that's it. I hope you found these tips useful and that you can use them to get the most out of your Windows Intune service. Thank you.